Okay, I think we are live. There we go. Let me toggle between these two screens. Hi, everyone. Let me know if you're here. There's Thelma. Hi, Thelma. You're the first one on. Yay! Thelma's first one. Say hello. Let me know if you're here. Tell me if this is the first time you're here. Hi, Diane. Here you are again. Look at you. I think someone's excited for holiday crafting. So, I'm glad to see you 2 weeks in a row. Thank you. I know, isn't it so cute? I love this box. I had to go looking for it. Hi, Alyssa. Is it Alicia or Alyssa? Or I don't know, maybe I'm saying it completely wrong. Hi there. Thanks for joining me. I know, look at all this fun stuff. Hey, Bonnie. Bonnie said the link from Facebook didn't work. Darn it all. Did it not work? Well, I'm glad you found me, Bonnie. It's a good thing you know where to find me. Oh, Diane's just excited to see me. Gee, thanks, Diane. You know how to make a girl feel special. Hi, Donna. Oh, I didn't see you last week, did I, Donna? Okay, you guys. I should take the camera off my face. I ate a cheese. I've been running around. I have not missed many. I don't miss many meals in my life, I have to say. And all these people, hi, Joanne. And I thought I was late. Nope. Hi, Stacy Junk. Boy, everybody's jumping on. I haven't missed many meals in my life, and anybody who knows me, would understand and laugh. And Alicia, okay, good. She says she doesn't care. Well, when it comes to me, pronouncing people's names, it's a good thing. But Alicia, I'll try to remember that. Thanks for joining us. I actually was so busy today. This might be the first time in my entire life I actually forgot to eat most of the day. I'm telling you, that doesn't happen. So I ate a cheese stick really quick before I went live. Now I think it's all in my teeth. So good thing you can't see it. But all of a sudden, right 5 minutes before I went live, I told Ricardo, I said, I'm really hungry. And he said, well, too bad. So I grabbed a cheese stick. Okay, so, oh my goodness, have I been so busy. Oh my gosh, y'all are chatty today. Oh, Donna says she fell asleep last week. I'm so glad you're all on because I have been so busy and I've been mass producing. And I didn't really plan on it. I just would start with one thing from the Crafting Sweet Memories release and our kit, and I just started going. So, and I couldn't help it. I was so excited about each of the kind of things that I just started like mass producing. But the good news for y'all with it is that I can share all of my tips and kind of, tricks for using some of these things that I found. Some things can be a little, I call it piggly. That's my homemade word. We make up a lot of words in the Thompson household. It can be a little tricky and finagly. And so I've got some tips and tricks for you tonight on using a lot of the things and maybe make your life a little bit easier, and you won't be mad at me that like you think maybe my products don't work, because some of them just need a little bit of trickery. So, and it's not even that. It's just what I found works really well. I know, Joanne. So, and this way, when you start going, you'll be ready to go. So first of all, let's look through some of these cute things. Look, if you haven't seen the peppermint dies, look, I made them sparkly, because we love that wow crystal kisses that we created just for this kit. I love it. Can you see it? Look at all the sparkle. I mean, come on, that frosted kind of, that sugary look that I was trying to get. It's got lots of texture and glitter. And then we can paper piece in and, do all those fun things. So I just started creating a whole bunch of tags. And did you see the stitching on these? Look, isn't it so stinking cute? And then I made the little ones because, of course, those are so cute too. So we've got the two sizes. Aren't they cute? So just start die cutting and mass producing is like how I got started, especially if you get that analysis paralysis, you know, with a kit or whatever. That's one thing that I did. I know it. They are so cute. And the other day, did y'all see this picture I posted of the frosted cakes? I started doing frosted cakes and I could not stop. And I had to make all colors. So here's the thing. Don't you think, here's what I realized. Wouldn't this be so cute for a little baby shower to do? You could do blue ones for a baby boy, and you could do all the pink ones for a little girl. Wouldn't that be so cute? I love that idea. I had that idea the other day. And Bonnie had a great idea. She said it'd be great to put a birthday candle on it. So we might need birthday candles in a future release. And then from the, what's it called? Holidays, Pine and Pieces, there's this little extra doodad that you can make a hang tag or a little pull tab, whatever you want to do, or a reinforcer, or you can make an ornament. That's what this is for. So I added that to one. You could make an ornament, put some ribbon through here and put it on the tree. So I've been busy. I made bows a few weeks ago. So cute. But I want to begin by talking about the 2 banner ribbon. Diane says she did a cake with Mrs. Claus. Or Mrs. Ginger, she said. So I want to talk about these banner ribbons. There's 2 different kinds in the kit. There's banner ribbons 1, and that's the single one, and it's so cute. And I embossed it with silver embossing powder. And then there's banner ribbons 2. That's this one because it's got a double ribbon, right? So this one I already have in my Misty. So let's talk about how you can make your life easy and mass produce these. And I have to tell you, I think this might be one of the unsung heroes in the kit that until you start playing with it and think about all the different things that you can do with these, it's crazy. All the pretty fun things that you can do with this banner ribbon. And so if you take, I mass produced these. Look at it on, this is the large size tag. Put it right here and pop it up with some foam. How pretty is that on a tag? Or you could just use this, put a hole through it and use that tag with the to and from on a package, and on a card as a focal point, and then tuck all your pretty things around it. So very pretty. Ooh, Donna says she used it today. So look, candy cane kisses, gingerbread wishes, and the sentiments are all separate. So you can do whatever, you can like piece them together. Dear Santa, I really tried. That's, one of my favorite ones. Candy cane kisses, sweet holiday wishes, or you can do gingerbread wishes, from our home to yours, all these different ones. So let's talk about some of the tips that I figured out in using this one. And then we're going to talk about banner ribbons 1. Okay. So let me move all this aside. And I have to tell you, my craft room, oh my goodness, it is such a disaster. Now, the other bows are exclusive to the kit, but this one's in the store. That's $5. Put a bow on at $5, and I love that one. We're not going to use it right now. I just wanted to share it. Okay, let's talk about, I have a whole, look at this stack. I am loving all of these colors. And this one, this is that mulled wine. And I loved it at first. And then I thought, okay, that one's not my favorite. I love the Cherry Crush, which is pretty. But I've been a big fan of that. I've been using it a lot. And then this is the Vintage Craft. It has little speckles in it. And that was the sample I showed you a second ago. And I've been using that a lot. Let me get, where did I put my Misty? It was right here, of course. Here it is. Okay. Now, if you know me, you know I don't clean my stamps very often. Oh, hi, Kathy Dodd. You know, I don't clean my stamps very often, so there's no judgment here. They're pretty messy because I've been using them. I did clean these. Oh, and I actually cleaned these last night before I put them away because that's how nasty they were. I was heat embossing, and I really love everything heat embossed, so it really needed to clean all that gunk off there. First tip I would say is take a piece of cardstock and run the die through your die machine and make a little jig, okay? And I personally die cut a whole bunch of colors all at once, but take a piece and just make one jig, like a square, that then you can put here in your Misty so that you can fit the pieces back in. And if you have a sticky mat, definitely use that to then hold the ribbons down. And I didn't cut any extra ribbons for us, so we're gonna have to do that, okay? Oops, I clicked something, hold on. By the way, if you are not subscribed, if you're new or you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe and to be notified when I have other videos posted. Okay, so I already have a jig, so I'm gonna go ahead and die cut this one. This is the time when I wish I had about 3 of these dies because we do them all at the same time. But let's die cut one, and I should have done a different color. Let me do a different color so that you can see the contrast when it's in the Misty. But I die cut a whole bunch of these, mass produce them. You know, if you're in the craft room and you don't really want to put the thought into creating a card or a full project, go ahead and just kind of mass produce basic things like these tag dies, like tags. I want to show you the Holly Days Pine and Pieces in a second. Oh no. Donna cleaned her craft room. Hi, Sandy Scott. Oh no, I was worried about that. Thank you. It is really nice. I know. You know, I'm picky about my cardstock, and it's 100 pound, solid core, archival. I mean, all the things that you want out of your cardstock, it is. But it's a really nice, heavy, beautiful weight, and it's archival. And I'm glad you like it, but I hate that you messed up your pink. So find another piece in your stash, Sandy. Okay, so I die cut this one out of the Vintage Craft. Use a sticky mat, and I don't know if you can tell right here. I want to put this die away before I lose it. Now, this looks funky because this Misty I had taken my foam mat out of because I was using it with, I think this is my old one. And I don't even know where in all the piles my new ones are. Oh, I see one over there. I'll have to get it. I took the foam mat out, and this is my old Misty that's a little bit broken. And I use this normally with like the cling rubber stamps. But I realized I was trying to stamp something and I wasn't getting a good image, and it wasn't my stamp. It was because I just needed this piece of foam back in my Misty. So this is for the small Misty, which I think I broke that one too. Darn it. So I need a new one of those. But this is a sticky mat. Here's my jig. And then piece your banner ribbon in there and really stick it down. And my sticky mat, go figure, isn't so sticky anymore. So I took my bone folder and I kind of stick it down on there. So now it's down well. And then I make sure that I use my anti-static tool. And now this is my tips for banner ribbon 2. I do a different process for banner ribbon 1, just so you know. So this is 2. And I use my anti-static. And then for this one, let me turn this down. Now my phone's chinging. And hold on 1 second. Let me turn off the ringer. There we go. Sorry about that. I like to use my stamp And I will stamp the ribbon first on this one, okay? I'm trying to think. Yes, I stamped the ribbon first. And I mass produced these. I cut a whole bunch of the die cuts and had those ready to go. And then I put this in my MISTI and just stamped a whole bunch at one time. Now, here's what I do. It can be a little bit difficult to see exactly where the edge is. I'm trying not to get my head in here. So look to the side because you can think that it is on there and it can actually be off to the side just because of the way the stamp looks. So look to the side and see where it is on your die cut, okay? And sorry if my head was in there. Get your stamp in position. Now, if it's wrong, we've only messed up one, right? We've still got a whole bunch more that we already die cut, supposedly. And I will also hold this down. Okay, so I am ready. Let me get my Versamark. You could stamp it in regular die ink or you can emboss it. And here's the other thing I like to do. I don't want to smush it down too much, but I will tell you, normally I would very lightly press and then open it and ink it again. And I probably do it for my inking about 3 times because I just want to do a little light press. However, I found that this is such a fine detail line on this ribbon. I like to smush it just a little bit more so I get a little bit thicker line than I would normally want. Normally we don't want that, but on this one, I do like a little bit heavier line and not so dainty. So I'm pushing it a little bit more and I'm still going to ink it probably 2 or 3 times, okay? So you do what you like, but after you do a couple, you're going to know what look you want, okay? But I'm pushing mine down because I like it holds more embossing powder that way too. If you do too fine of a line, it won't hold as much embossing powder and it doesn't get a good embossing, okay? So I smush my ribbon because I like that look. Only on this one, okay? And then I don't even have to take out the jig. I use my craft pick and very gently then pull this one up, and you can use tweezers or just hold the sides with your fingers. See? Now I've got a good look how good that embossing is, and we got it pretty well centered. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Hi Tammy Valley, how are you feeling? So there's our jig, and that's what I do on this one. Just mass produce a whole bunch, okay? So here's this, and let's do this. What color should we do? I'm going to do white on this one. I really like the white on, and you know, white can be kind of a pain if it gets everywhere. But if you use your anti-static tool, you should be okay. I'm shaking my embossing powder because I had lumps in it because I've had this for so long, just because of the humidity in the air. It will lump, and it's supposed to. That's what it's supposed to do to kind of take the moisture out. But I shake it up and kind of spread it around. So let's pick this up, and I'm going to tap it off. And I like to then move, see what happens? That's why I move my tweezers, and I'm going to take a little fine paintbrush and get this off that it kind of stuck underneath my tweezers. We're gonna have a big glob right there at the end. Sometimes I will totally wipe it off and start again and see what I get right there. Let's take it in there. There, see, that's better. See what happened? I wiped it totally off and took it back into the embossing powder, and now I have it exactly the way I want it, okay? Get that put away. Let me get my heat gun, and I'm going to hold this one. I'm going to clean these tweezers off because there's all kinds of embossing powder. And I'm going to very lightly hold it right here. Let's get the embossing gun warming up. These are not my normal favorite reverse tweezers. Those are like so dirty, it's not even funny. Uh-oh. See, these aren't holding well. Hold on. These are already bugging me. Let me get some good ones. These are just cheapy ones that came with something the other day, and now I know why they're giving them away. Hold on. Okay. Let's try this again. Better. I love my reverse tweezers. I normally start from the back, kind of melt the back. Wait, I gotta dip this in here a little bit. I don't know if it's gonna let me. We'll have to do it afterwards. I have a spot that it didn't catch. I need to do it again. Just when you see it turn, move it. Don't burn it. On this cardstock, it's very easy to burn it. It catches the heat really well, and it's easy to burn your embossing powder. And now let's see. I'm going to have to get this back. It's very easy to burn this embossing powder on this cardstock because it really catches the heat on here. Okay, there we go. That's better. It's kind of filled in some of the missing spots. And if you're embossing, if you're doing embossing on it and it looks like, you know, all of a sudden it's dull, it's not as shiny as it normally is, it's because you burnt it a little bit. Ask me how I know. I did it a lot. This cardstock really takes on the heat. So you just have to be careful and keep your heat tool moving. Okay, look how pretty that is. Beautiful. And you see why I smushed that down, because it would be so fine. In other words, it is fun. It is wow. You know, wow is my favorite. This is opaque, bright white, super fine, Donna, super fine. And that's what you need to get really detailed embossing. You need the fine and super fine powders, I find. Look how good it looks. Beautiful. Isn't that so pretty? And you know, you can shade these. You could color it. You could use ink blending to get a little bit of shading and dimension on the ribbon. But if you just do this and mass produce like I did, you're going to love it. You know, some of us go above and beyond, and it's beautiful. I love that shading. But if you're in a hurry or you need to mass produce a bunch, just emboss it and go. Okay. So we've got that. Now, let's pretend that we mass produced all of these, okay? Because you don't need to see me do a whole bunch more. And let's put this back in here. And now we're going to do a sentiment. Okay. I have so much junk on my desk. I can't even move everything around. I'm going to throw these tweezers that are junky away. And I'm going to fit this back in here. And again, use my bone folder to make it stick down. I really need to clean my sticky mat. But for right now, we'll do that. Let's take this out. And let's do, here are the sentiments. So we've got Candy Cane Kisses, Gingerbread Wishes, Believe in the Magic, Dear Santa, I Really Tried, Please Stop Here, Dear Santa, Please Stop Here, From Our Home to Yours, With Love, Sweet Holiday Wishes, Baking Spirits Bright, and then Of the Season. So you could put, you know, Believe in the Magic, Of the Season, those kinds of things. So you can really mix and match, because I thought about connecting them and I thought, no, I like lots and lots of choices. I'm all about the choices. You can even do to and from. You saw me show the to and from at the beginning in the that really pretty frosted mint. So let's do, since they're longer and I think it would be good, Candy Cane Kisses. Let's go ahead and, since it's craft paper, let's do Candy Cane Kisses, Gingerbread Wishes. Okay. And I am again going to put a little bit more embossing powder or anti-static, since we've been handling it. And white can be a pain, right? Okay. Here we go. Here's what I like to do. I've already done my ribbon. I do my ribbon first because these little tiny, this fine script print on these, you really have to look, and you need to make sure that your D isn't touching the top, and look to the side, and my Y is not touching the bottom, and then you want to get it along the sway, the swoop of the ribbon. They are designed so that they follow the swoop, okay? Just make sure that you kind of center it, and you don't want those little tails touching, okay? So I center it, and then I pick it up. Let's ink this up and see how we do. Now this one, we don't want to smush it the way that we did the ribbon, right? We want that nice fine, so I'm very gentle. Tap, 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 and then I go back and I ink it again. I'd rather take my time and ink it 2 or 3 times than to smush it and have my sentiment kind of smear together, especially when you're heat embossing. You want to make sure you have a good amount of Versamark ink that has soaked into your cardstock and then is sitting on top to catch it, right? Okay, and that looks really good. Can you see it? Look, we did a good job. I think we did a good job centering it and inking it up. So let's pull this out again. And now I can hold it with my fingers a little bit more. Literally, I'm hoping piles don't fall over. That's how bad it is. And this one, I can go ahead and hold and dump it. And then I do it a second time if I need to. Give it a little dust off any extra. Use my paintbrush if I need to. And let's see how it looks. This should be pretty warm. I start from the back usually. Like I said, this cardstock heats quickly. If you start from the back, it kind of starts melting the bottom layer, and then it doesn't blow off when you hit it from the front. It has already started that kind of adhesion underneath, okay? Once you see it go, pull your heat gun away. Got it. Hi, Shalana, how are you? There we go. Let's see, did I get it? I missed a spot. Hold on. I get so worried about burning it. My E and A didn't. I might need to put it in again. I'm not going to do it now, but my E and A didn't adhere as well. They're okay, but it doesn't look great. Okay, so there you go. That is my tip. Those are my tips for using that banner sentiment. Okay, create your jig, mass produce your die cuts, then piece them back in and place your sentiment. And I do a whole bunch, of course, because I don't want to realign every single one, a different one every time. So do a whole bunch, right? Just kind of when you're in your craft room, you don't have other stuff going on. You just want to craft without worrying about what you're making. So that is banner ribbon 2, because it's double. Makes sense, right? So now let's look at, let's put this one away. And then we'll look at banner ribbon 1. And that one is a little bit more persnickety, I think, as far as centering it. So this should help a little bit. Let me see what I'm doing. Okay. Candy cane kisses. So this one goes here. So is everybody doing their homework and working on, have you looked through all the pictures of the designers makes? They're in the album. There's an album in the private Facebook group of all of the things that the designers have created for the workshop. And our workshop is just a week from tomorrow. I can't believe it's already here. I'm excited, but I have a lot to do. So let's take this jig out, and you can keep this. Put this right in your little pocket, right, with your stamps and dies so that you have it next time you're ready to go. You don't even have to take the time to create a new one, especially if it's a little small one like this. Put it right in there. Diana, you've had your kit for how many weeks and you haven't done it yet? Look at that. They are so pretty, Stacy, aren't they? Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so let me think about, this was the one that I really wanted to talk about. Look, here's my stamps coming off the thing. Here's what I did. Okay, I had to think for a second. What was the tip I wanted to share on this one? This one, I do completely differently. I take my cardstock and I stamp the sentiment first. Oh my goodness, Alicia. Do you live in Alaska? Are you the person that lives in Alaska? Because I have to tell you, this is so funny. It's funny, not funny. Because I think about everything and I worry about everything. Do you live in Alaska? Tell me that first. There's someone that lives in Alaska, and it might be Alicia. And I'm looking to see what she says. I bought the shipping for the kit to Alaska, and it was pretty expensive, of course, going all the way to Alaska. And so I forget what the deal was. Let's see. That's Believe in the Magic. Hold on. Let me think about what we're doing. Let's do, look at these cute sentiments, and they're falling off because they aren't even sticking. Happy holidays. Let me put a piece of paper behind it. We have happy holidays, seasons, greetings, believe in the magic, peace, love, and joy, happy new year, Merry Christmas, warmest wishes, fa la 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 la, holly jolly. Yes, I know, I love that, Alicia. Who really lives in North Pole, Alaska? That made me smile. I love it. Y'all, she lives in North Pole, Alaska. I love it. So anyway, you know, it's kind of expensive to ship to Alaska. And so I selected USPS, and sometimes I'm kind of leery of the USPS because they don't have the best reputation, and I normally go UPS, but UPS was way more expensive. And then I went ahead and I clicked the button and I bought the shipping, and I remember I went out and I told my husband, I said, oh my gosh, I didn't look to see where she truly lived or why it was so expensive until I put it on her box, and it's going to Alaska, and it was going to take a lot longer. And I'm like, everybody wants their stuff fast. So I was really worried about it not getting there at all. And then I was worried about it going snail mail and not getting there in time. So yay. I am so glad that it is. I know Santa's her neighbor. We love that. She must be an elf, or she's Mrs. Claus, maybe. So I was so worried. So you'll have to let me know if it gets there by Saturday and that it's all okay, because I was a little worried. And I really wish that I told my husband when I went out there, I said, I wish that I had just paid for the UPS and felt better and gotten it there a lot faster. So thank you for being patient that it's coming all the way there from here. And that is so fun that you live in North Pole, Alaska. Okay, so I still have my little foam mat here. On the banner, Sentiments 1, I like to stamp. Let's do it on white so you can see what I'm doing. You get white cardstock. And I'll stamp this one with dye ink. We don't need to heat emboss another one. You can see it on white, and we'll just use dye ink. So I like to stamp my sentiment and leave room for the die, because you know the die is going to be like this, so make sure that you give it lots of room for your die. Don't worry about conserving too much paper. And stamp your sentiment first. This is through a lot of kind of, you know, stamping and figuring out what works. That's why I'm sharing these tips before y'all get started and get kind of frustrated. This just works easier than trying to line up the sentiment in the ribbon. I messed it up so often because here's the tricky thing. Once you start you start designing and creating your own products, you learn real fast that just because you want to do it doesn't mean that they can produce it that way. So fonts can be tricky. So here's a little tiny font that we're doing that's very fine and detailed, and we want it to be nice and crisp and pretty, but you have to make the font big enough for them to produce it and the machine to be able to create it and make it perfect. So it's a balancing act. So I had to make the sentiments just the right size and yet still in the font that I wanted. So I'm, once again, very gently tapping it with the foam pad to get a nice crisp stamp, but yet I'm inking it 2 or 3 times so that it's perfect and it's not smushy, right? So there's that one. And I would mass produce, I just, you know, do a whole bunch of them. And I do like to do it in a stamp positioner so that I can keep doing it, but I'm only going to do one for you. So I ink it first, stamp the sentiment, and now I'm going to go in with the ribbon and here's the other trick. Make sure that your die, that you know which way your die is going so you get your stamp the right way. Trick number 2, okay? So this is the right way. I need to put it this way. And it's much easier now to center your stamp. I don't want to get my head in the camera, but let me look at it. You want to get that little swoopy in there. And you want to center it without, let me make sure I'm getting it. Sorry. Get your head right over it. Okay, so do it that way. There. So now I've got my ribbon. Now cross your fingers that I lined it up right. Now I'm going to stamp my ribbon. And this one, because I'm not heat embossing it, I'm not going to press this one a whole lot because we'll get the fine detail. That's well, see, I still didn't do it right. Darn it. It's because I was worried about getting my head in the camera. So we're going to do this one again. Bear with me. Oh, Alicia was just in Kentucky. Flew in and out of Nashville. When I returned home and found you, I was like, dang, Alicia, come back because we're having an in-person crop and 4 more classes in November. And it's fun. All of our in-person events are really fun. Okay, we're going to try this again. Okay, I'm going to flip it around, and you can do this too. Here's another trick. Take your Misty, do your sentiment on one end, and do your ribbon at the other end, and see how it goes. Okay, let's try this again. Season's greetings. Okay. Make sure it's going to work. Make sure your die is going the right way. Okay. Pick it up. Now, you should make a jig for it. You should make a jig for this one, but just start with your sentiment instead of the ribbon. And then that way, if you want to flip it around, you'll be able to mass produce it, okay? Oh, I don't have I know what's wrong. I need my bigger, hold on. Now that I see my other Misty, let me found it, yay. Oh, and there's a little stamp that I was looking for. It's still in there. That's why I set it aside, because I've got this little teeny tiny stamp that says pull. that I was saving in there. So let me put it away before I lose it. Good. Now, let's switch this to this one. Bear with me. You can tell I've been so busy all day, I didn't get to really practice, so I was really on my game for tonight because I've just been so busy. Okay, so let's take 2. Okay, put your sentiment in here. Make sure and you can look at the back of your packaging also, and you'll see which way the die should go, right? Just like that. So make sure you have your sentiment where we're going to be able to cut it out, right? Okay. And we'll take 2. I'm telling you, once you get the hang of it, it'll be a little bit easier. Ink it up. Should have made a jig for this one so you could see it, but I didn't. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. If you get some ink that's like going onto your cardstock, make sure you clean it off. Another reason you don't want to push too hard. I mean, I am lightly tapping. It's like almost nothing at all. There we go. Now, I could flip this around, look, and line up in that corner, see that? And line up the ribbon there, and then we can mass produce a little bit more. Let me find in this one our ribbon. Now I'm going to clean my ribbon because you know it's got red on it. It's gonna be really messy. So let me clean it before I'm actually going to use stamp cleaner to make sure it's clean. And then we'll have to make sure it's really dry and cleaned off, no residue or anything, before we put it on our paper. Okay. She'll be coming back to take care of her father-in-law and already planned to check the schedule of events when it happens. I don't have dates yet. Ooh, well, I'm glad that you're coming back. I hope your dad's okay. Okay, so I flipped that around and now I'm going to turn it this way. Once again, how's my die go? Goes like this, right? Let me see. Nope, goes like this. And you know how else I can tell? This is longer on this end. This is shorter on this end. And when you look at the picture, you'll see the longer one's there and the shorter one's there, okay? So, that way. So this goes this way. Now, let me try again. And once you get it lined up, then you won't have to worry about it, right? It just takes a little bit of practice. And I did it perfectly last night, believe it or not. So it can be done. And sometimes you need to move it this way and this way also, right? To get it, just because I did, when I designed it, it fits perfectly in there. You just need to take your time. Okay. Cross your fingers, say a prayer. And if it doesn't work this time, you know what I mean. Sometimes going live, it's like kind of nerve-wracking and I try to rush and sometimes I shouldn't and it doesn't work, but if you've been around, you know me. Okay. Yay, I did it. Look, can you see it? I'm going to ink it a couple of times. Ta-da. That's what I'm saying. Just be patient. Take your time. Ooh, Alicia, you have to come to the big retreat. It's so fun. We have a lot of fun. Okay, yay, we did it. Look at that. So, I stamp the sentiment first, then I stamp the ribbon, and then I die cut it on this, okay? That's how it works. Or you could die cut it first, create a jig, line up your stamp, then stamp your ribbon, okay? And once you get it stamped, then you can mass produce. So that's how we do that one. And where's my box? I'll show you. Just like this one, look how pretty. You can even heat emboss. When you get it lined up perfectly, it looks fantastic to do all of those, okay? So there's my trick for that. Those are the banner ribbon sentiments. We've gone over those. Let's talk about the Holly Days Pine and Pieces, because this one can be a little finagly too. But I'll show you what works. So once again, mass produced. I made a whole bunch of these. So I've got it down pat. You watch, I say that and then I won't be able to do it. Let me get my dies. Okay. So this is the Holly Days Pine and Pieces. We've got the back and then the front of a large holly, and this die cuts down the middle, so that's why sometimes you might want this one. I like to give lots of options. Then you've got the smaller one. Then you've got your berries and the little branches to glue them together. You've got the big long pine. This one's the one that's fussy. And then you've got the shorter pine. This one comes out fine. It's getting the detail in these long, teeny tiny 1 millimeter little pine needles that can give you fits. So if you have been trying to die cut those and gotten mad at me, this might help, okay? So I have been die cutting lots, and I'm going to tell you what I found that works with that long one. I mean, you have to do it because they're so pretty, right? Like, look at these little berries. Aren't they so sweet? And there's even a little embossed line for shading at the bottom. So very cute. I have been doing a lot of those. It's addicting once you get going. Okay. I'm going to use my big plates because that's what I was using. My chocolate lab is going nuts in the bedroom. I don't know why. Normally he doesn't bark until I'm done. I think he might have to go potty. And so I'm hoping somebody's listening that maybe they'll take him to go potty because he is in there barking like mad. Okay, let me put these away because these are like gold, right? I put all the work into it. And we have lots of mother-daughters that come. If your daughter's over 16, bring your daughter, Alicia, because we have several mother-daughter combos that come. Bonnie comes with her daughter, and she's even bringing her adult son, too, this year. Okay, here is normally, if you have an Empress, I do not normally cut up into my plates. This is one time, I will tell you, it works much better when Tammy, don't feel bad for that dog. He is like, he just wants to get out of his kennel, and he takes advantage of people feeling sorry for him. And he went potty like a half an hour ago, so don't let him fool you. He might have to go because he has to go like constantly. He does not have diabetes. Nobody tell me, oh, maybe he's got diabetes. He doesn't. They've tested. He's fine. He just drinks a lot of water. He thinks he owns it all. Okay, so my Empress, when I tried to cut down into the mat, which is what I normally do, it gave me fits because, and it's not the die's fault. It's these long, teeny tiny, like 1 millimeter little pines. It's just a lot to ask of the die. So here's what I found. Put it face up and get over it and cut into your plate, okay? What's Sandy say? It is definitely a little fussy, Sandy, and I'm not arguing with you on that one. I totally agree. So that's why we're doing this. It's all these little tips that I wanted to share with you. Okay, so I put it face up. And here's the other thing. If you have a mat that's well used in one area, or right in a corner. You know, lots of times dies don't want to work right there. So I kind of put it right in the middle. I also didn't put any dies around it that would kind of raise everything else up around it. I kind of put it by itself. It's worth it, okay? It's worth it. And then I put my cardstock over it, and it's going to cut up into my plate. And I ran it through twice. You might need to use a shim. On mine, I found when I did it like this, I didn't need a shim, okay? But I run it through. Sometimes this worked only going once, but just to be safe, I run it through twice. And you can hit reverse. I just pull it out and send it back through. Exactly. And Tammy, our dogs get fed at 7 on the dot every night. They even got fed a half an hour early when I go live. But they'll start bugging you at 5, thinking you can't tell time. Okay. Cross your fingers. Say a prayer. Here we go, Sandy. Let's see how this worked. And you can always tell, right? Oh, look, I can tell because the paper's already lifting up. And look how nice that cut is. And I found if I pulled the cardstock up and left it down in the die, if it stays in there, that helps. See? Got it. Now, I pull it up, flip it over, and I'll tell you, like, I even did this. And it's worth it. Sandy, don't you think it's worth it in the end, this little bit of effort? I put it back on my magnet. I started at the end. Can you see what I'm doing? And then I pinch this little end. Okay. And I very gently start pulling it up from the middle, because that's where the middle part is. And look. And then keep moving your fingers down. And ta-da! It comes out perfectly. Look it, look it, look it. I'll get a piece of white paper here. Look how pretty that is, and so dainty, and so, I mean, oh, it looks so pretty. It's worth the effort, isn't it? There you go. Look, it worked perfectly. Yay, something in my life worked perfectly. Face up is if you have a magnetic mat. If you don't, you know, you might have a magic mat or something, but I will tell you, cutting up into the plate, it's okay. It's okay. Believe me, like I normally don't cut into my plates, but I did it because it's so worth it. Cut up. Don't put any dies around it, okay? And then put your cardstock over it, like that. And then run it through, and if you need to run it through twice, it's worth it. Or you never know, with your die cutting machine, it might need a piece of paper. It's not a problem with the design. It's the fact that it's so detailed, and it's got so little real estate to really hold on to these fine little long needles. Now, if you have die cut any of the small ones, you know, because that one, this one, it pops out just fine. And it's just that little bit of difference on how thin this is compared to these, and then also that the branches are so much longer. So those pop out just fine. And, you know, we're all about options, right? Just took more times through on my Scout Magic Mat. There you go. Or if you flip it over and cut into the plate, I found it does work better. So it's worth it in the end to get it done. But I'm glad that you found a workaround too. Okay. So there we go. So there's my tip for that's the Holly Days Pine in Pieces. And that's the big pine piece. That's my tip for that one. Die cut a whole bunch at one time. Die cut your berries in pink and red. And even that mulled wine would be so pretty. And then you can either, for the base, you can use brown cardstock, or you can ink smush or color them, whatever works for you. And I'm not going to talk about how I inked all these because that's something for the workshop. You can ink them with a blending brush. Oh, let's talk about one thing. One thing that I found, let's see, I have some pink ones down here in the box. Let me show you. I want to talk about one thing I found about inking things. Okay, hold on. Here's what I found when I inked. And you know, ink blending's my thing. like ink blending is my thing. I wasn't happy with a lot of my ink blending when I first started trying to ink up some things in the kit. And I inked up the frosted cakes, I inked up some bows, and I wasn't very happy with it. You know, I normally ink blend on white cardstock. So when I started, I like to start with a colored cardstock, but I wasn't getting an ink blend that I really liked. And here's the trick that I found with that. Start with an ink. You always think you want to go so much darker. I didn't like that. I wanted a little bit of subtle, and because it's cardstock, it soaks up ink a little bit differently. So I found if I started with an ink that was closer to the color of the die cut and then started adding in some darker, I liked it much better. I think it's because it's just a different kind of paper, and the fibers are different when they soak up ink than our normal white cardstock. So on this one, I will tell you, I found, you know, I love my Catherine Pooler, but I found that honestly, none of my Catherine Pooler pinks matched well enough, and I couldn't, and they weren't exactly the right shade, that I wasn't overly happy with what I was getting. So I found with my Altenew, I did frosty pink and baby pink, and I think baby pink was what I settled on. And believe it or not, it looks weird like this, but when you start blending with it, let me get my sticky mat. I really like the results much better once I found an ink shade. I know this is a sticky mat that has been well loved with reds and purples. Okay, so I'm going to stick it down. And I'm going to load up my brush just a little bit, dab some off, and start, you know, just like we normally ink blend, start off and then go on. But use a very light, gentle hand and build up the ink, and you'll be much happier with the results than if you start with a darker ink or you go in heavier handed. And start letting it kind of soak in and blend in before you go in heavier handed or add a darker color. Okay? I personally like the results much, much better. And I'm just doing it on this one side. You can see okay, so it's very subtle there. There I've got my base. Okay, I don't know if you can tell the difference. You will when I pick it up. Now I can go in with just a little bit, very light-handed. Rouge is one of my favorite red Catherine Pooler colors, but I'm going to be, it's just that the pinks are not quite the right shade that I wanted. So I'm very lightly going to go in with some rouge to give it a little bit of depth. And let's hope we like this, because I don't know if I've inked this one up. Okay, and I'm not even going to add any extra ink to my brush. I'm going to go in very softly. It's got ink on it. And there we go. I think I'm going to like this one. What do you think? Can you see it? That I like. We have a light area here. We have some shading here. Much prettier. Much prettier. See it? That looks beautiful. If you start with colored cardstock, you can still ink blend and get some beautiful shading, but you don't have to work so hard. Why would we start out with white and then have to add all that pink base layer when you start out with that pretty pink? It takes a lot less work, right? What is going, Diane Lawfrey, what's at 4 a.m.? Oh my gosh, her cats eat at 4 a.m. and 4 p.m. Oh, that is crazy. No way am I getting up at 4 a.m. So there you go. Isn't that beautiful? Sandy Scott, do you have some more pink in your stash? Hopefully you do. Because she said she had started cutting and she messed up and she lost her pink. So there you go. That's how I ink my die cuts using the color cardstock. Start with an ink that closely matches the color of the cardstock. Build it up before you go to another color if you want to shade it. But I do love the look. Okay, if I had another light pink one here, you'd see the difference. So pretty though. And and go non-traditional. Look, I cut some out of all kinds of different colors of pink, and even these pine branches. Look how pretty these look. Seriously, so pretty together. And then I did cut, look at the frosty mint, love that. So same thing, I do the same thing. I'd find a minty green color that very closely matches, okay? So there's those. I love non-traditional colors. If you're coming to the in-person workshops in November, I'm thinking we're gonna change up some things and do some non-traditional colors. I love lavender at Christmas time. I love navy and pink. I love the minty green and pink or turquoise and pink. So we might do something like that. I think I'm gonna do a poll for the people coming to the in-person to really see what they might want to do. We might do a mini album. I'm really going to leave it up to you as to what you want to do. Okay, so there's those tips. So we did the banner ribbon dies 1 and 2. We did, we talked about die cutting this pine, talked about inking the colored cardstock. Is there any other question? Because we are, it's already 8:01. Woo! One thing I want to talk about, and I don't even know if I pulled it out. I have been wanting to talk about this for weeks, and I don't know if I have. One last real quick thing, the Art Deco Christmas tree. I think I talked about it, but I want to make sure we cover it real fast today. The Art Deco Christmas trees, which it has my heart. I love this so much. But this die, I think I did talk about it at one point. This die, the manufacturer did not cut out the middle of the trees. So when you are trying to line it up, nope. Where is it? Stinks when I can't even find my own products. And I'm not going to get another one because I only have 2 left right now. I have I just reordered today. Okay. I don't have it right here. It's probably in my stack on my desk. Real quick, let me get one. Let me at least get one so you can see it in the package. Hold on. We can talk about it. I won't demo it, but we can talk about it. Here we go. There's the stamp, and here's the die, and then there's the 4 layered stencils that coordinate with it. Here's what I recommend. See, these are the things we learn when we're manufacturing. I had to specifically, I guess, tell them to make sure the middle was cut out, because if when you're trying to line up a big die, you need to obviously see the stamped image in it to know where to line it up. So the things we learn in, as we go. Now I know to tell them, make sure you cut that middle out. Here's what I recommend. Die cut this first. Then put the die cut piece in your stamp positioner or on a sticky mat, and then use your MISTI or stamp positioner to, line up your stamp over the die cut and then stamp your pretty Art Deco Christmas trees, okay? Die cut first, stamp second. Use a stamp positioner to line it up, okay? And then it's easy peasy. The other cool thing, real quick, that I think I did talk about it last week, is that the stars stencil, use that on the background. And you don't even have to use the trees. I love that. Like, I love that you can use the stencil and not even use all the other trees, but they're so pretty. One of my first things that I picked out that I wanted to design. So, anything else? Does anybody have any questions about the holiday release and using anything that you need help with, or you have a question you need me to answer, let me know. Oh, good. Sandy has lots of pink. Don't we all, Sandy? Like lots and lots of pink. I'm trying out a pink for the store because, you know, I have lots of cardstock in the store now. And I think this one's, oh, I don't have the camera on. I think this pink is going to be added to the store. This is the pink for the kits. And then that pink, wouldn't that be pretty? That's a good pink. Believe it or not, like it's harder to find good pink options. So that's a good, you know, that's about the best medium pink I can find. It's this one. Isn't that pretty? I like it. What else? Any questions? Any other questions? We will be posting the schedule for, and if you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, it's for, we're having a virtual retreat with the Crafting Sweet Memories kit next weekend. Starts on Friday. I will post the schedule for all of the classes, who's teaching when, and what time they will all be. Here's the other thing. If you're new and you're in the group, the private group, remember, you cannot buy giveaway tickets from me. You earn them. So it's through participation. So we're going to have challenges throughout the next week. We're going to have theme days. We're going to have, Friday's going to be ugly sweater day. So pull out your ugly sweater, snap a selfie, and you're going to have an album. Here's the trick. You have to also post it in the right place, which is the album. Because if you post everything in the feed in the group, the important information gets lost in all the muddle. So you take a picture, but then you're going to have to post it in the correct spot to get your participation points in the album. And then we can see everybody's ugly sweater. We're going to have, you know, all kinds of challenges like ahead of time. And then all kinds of things that you'll get participation points on, taking pictures and things like that throughout the retreat. And then the workshops. And then we'll pull names for giveaways. Every single workshop is going to have a giveaway winner. So you want to make sure you have as many tickets in there as possible to possibly win. So we're going to make it as fun as we can. Even though we're all separated and not in the same craft room, we're going to make it as fun as we can. And I'm trying to give as much of that fun of being in person that you normally get at the retreats for the virtual one. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. If you have not considered coming to the in-person workshops and crop in November, it's a 3 full days, 24 hours a day you can craft, as long as there's someone in there to let you in at night. 3 full days. We're going to have 4 more workshops on top of the virtual. You get your 6, and then you get 4 more. So you get a total of 10 workshops. You can get a 6-foot crop seat, or you can get a 4-foot card making seat, and then come to the classes, and it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have all kinds of themes and fun and giveaways there too. So think about coming if you haven't registered for that. Don't forget to like and subscribe if this is the first time and you've never hit those little notifications, and it should tell you when I go live. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. I hope these tips helped. And let me know in the comments if you have other questions or you need help with something. I've pretty much played with everything, and I kind of know. By the way, the frosted cakes, let me give you this quick tip now that I'm thinking about it. Real quick. Here we go. When putting your frosted cake together, I figured out if you start at the bottom, you know, the main piece for the back, you know, it's one piece and it's got embossed lines, so you know where to line it up. I found if I start at the top with the cherry, it works out much better. I started with the bottom and tried, and somehow I often got it messed up, and then it didn't want to line up correctly. Start at the top with the cherry and move down. And then if it's a little bit off from the base, if you've cut it from the same color, no one will notice it. But for some reason, it just worked out better. It was easier to line it up with the embossed lines. And I didn't find that I messed it up. There would be a gap in here if I didn't line it up perfectly. So start at the top on the cherry. That's the other one I wanted to remember. I think those are the main ones. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate you spending some time with me. We always have fun together. And let me know, like I said in the comments, if you have any questions, okay? Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.